As much as we try to teach our kids the right things about money, it's easy to forget that we can actually learn a lot from them. So here are 4 things that we can learn from our kids about money. Let's get started. Please don't forget to subscribe for more videos on money, minimalism, our travel journey around the world. We publish a new video every week. As adults, we tend to grow and we learn how to do things different ways from what we used to do, and that's great, but sometimes it's good to see what naturally transpires, how God designed us, and we can learn that from our kids. While I'm not taking investment advice from my 4-year-old, I am learning a lot about money from him, whether he realizes it or not. The same goes for all of my other kids. Here are some of the best lessons that they've taught me. Number 1, why so serious? Money is fun. When did personal finances turn into a chore? We often hate words like budget, and then words like investing scares us. So seriously,
why so serious?
Money isn't that important. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Don't freak out. I know what you're thinking, but money isn't that important. We'll talk about it. But the first point here is money can be fun. Even budgeting can be fun. Just try to do it when your kids are around and see how much they're interested in it. It can be fun. I actually think budgeting makes money more fun because it gives you more freedom and you get to see all the areas where you can spend more money. I'm the spender and my wife's the saver, if you haven't figured that out by now. In our budget, we have money set aside for things like learning, books, courses, seminars. We also have a blow fund, not that kind of blow, to spend on whatever we want. I equate having a blow fund to having a cheat day on a diet because you get to spend money on whatever you want to without feeling guilty about it. Initially, kids think all money in life goes into the blow fund, and then they have to be taught how to invest, how to save, how to spend rationally, reasonably. However, as adults, sometimes we have to be reminded how to blow money. Unless, of course, your problem is blowing too much money, and in that case, move on to number 2. Number 2, family is more important than money. The more wealth that we acquire, my wife and I, the less I care about money. I've noticed that. And no, I'm not saying that because I'm so financially comfortable that I don't have to care about money anymore. I'm saying that I could lose it all right now and I know that everything would be fine. Often I talk about embracing the worst case scenario, thinking about what it could be, and then accepting that I would be fine if we lost all of our money. My wife and I have talked about it. We would be fine. It's not ideal. We're not trying to do that. It's not what we want, but it would be fine. First off, I know that God is in control and all of our needs are going to be met. As Paul said to the Philippians, even in Thessalonica you sent me help for my needs once and again. Not that I seek the gift, but I seek the fruit that increases to your credit. I have received full payment and more. I am well supplied, having received from Epaphroditus the gifts you sent, a fragrant offering, a sacrifice acceptable and pleasing to God. And my God will supply every need of yours according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:16 through 19. That's why Paul could rejoice in prison, because he didn't rely as much on money as he relied on the grace of God. So if you're out there killing yourself by amassing a whole bunch of wealth and building up a whole bunch of money, maybe take a step back and ask yourself why you want to amass so much wealth. If you're paying off a lot of debt, it's not a bad thing to work like crazy until it's all paid off. My wife and I did that, and I'll link a video about that. That being said, it is okay if it takes a little bit longer than planned to pay off your debt, because looking back on it, I missed a lot of my kids' lives when I was working so hard for those couple years to pay off debt. We can't get our time back. Spend your time with your family. You can always get more money, but don't be so worried about amassing wealth and getting more money that you're neglecting your family. That's the lesson here. Number 3, personal finance takes lifelong learning. After writing about finances every day for almost 10 years now, and getting a degree in finance and reading well over 200 finance books, I realized that I still have a lot to learn about finances. Every time I pick up a new book, I learn something new about money. Almost every time. Some books are terrible. We're all still learning, and it takes a lifetime to really learn personal finance and how we apply it to our own lives. I'm a big fan of learning from other people's mistakes, and we teach this concept to our kids, even if that means them learning from our mistakes. But no matter what you do, no matter what we do, our kids are still going to make mistakes. The goal is that they would learn from them. It takes a while for kids to learn some financial concepts, and it takes adults a while to learn some of these concepts too. Some people are in their 20s, 30s, and 40s before they're learning stuff that we can teach to our kids now. A common example is delayed gratification. How many adults still don't understand the importance of delayed gratification? Most financial concepts are simple, but they're not easy. The action is always the hard part. It takes time to learn this stuff. It takes a lifetime. It takes trial and error, often a lot of error, but we learn from it. But most importantly, it takes a lifetime of learning. And finally, number 4, giving isn't a burden, it's exciting. I taught a finance class when I was deployed one time to over 100 young service members. And after my talk was over, a young Marine approached me with a few finance questions. Mainly since we were going over Dave Ramsey's baby steps at the time, he wanted to know exactly what all the steps were. He was writing it down and he was being diligent. He was being a good Marine. I understood his excitement and enthusiasm, so I laid out all the steps for him and had him write all of them down. When I got to baby step 7, which is build wealth and give, he shut down at give. He closed his notebook and said, I'll worry about that when I get there. And his thinking's not uncommon. It's the thought that, oh, when I have a lot of money, I'll give. Like, I'll give later. I can't afford to give right now, but when I have a lot of money, I'll start giving. That's not how giving works. And that's what I told him. And hopefully he actually took it to heart. First off, if you ever want to have a lot of money, you need to be giving now. But that's not the point of giving. Just watch your kids give and see how fun it can be. Our kids love giving money when we go to church. They always ask me for money, and I tell them, if I give you this, it's going to have to come out of your account, and they're more than happy to give. And sometimes I have to pull them back and be like, okay, you only have $100. You probably shouldn't give 99. Maybe give $1 or $5 or $10. That'd be more reasonable. When our kids see a homeless person, they always say, can we go buy them food? They love doing things for other people. Most kids do, and sometimes in early adulthood, it's easy to lose track of that and to forget how fun giving can really be. So respark your love for giving. Look at the children. Look at the excitement they have when they give. Let's get this excitement back. Giving is and should be a lot of fun. Or as Hebrews 13:16 puts it, do not neglect to do good and to share what you have, for such sacrifices are pleasing to God. And giving isn't just pleasing to God, it's pleasing to us. It can be a lot of fun. Please subscribe for more videos on money, minimalism, our travel journey around the world, all this stuff, these family concepts, Christian living, things like that. If you're interested in raising intentional children, check out my book, Intentional Children. I'll put a link below in the description. That is all for today. I will see you next week.